In NASCAR, numbers are just as, and in some cases, more iconic than the drivers themselves. As the most recognizable part of the sport, fans latch on to drivers sometimes simply because they run a certain number. So today we're going to look back at the best of the best, looking back at the top 10 winningest numbers in NASCAR history. Cup, that is. But more on that right after this. The playoffs are heating up as the weather is cooling down and you want to be there for every moment of it. Not sitting in a grocery store or cooking food at home for an extra long time. This is where HelloFresh comes in. HelloFresh offers delicious food that can effortlessly save you time, money, and stress by delivering fresh ingredients right to your door. Plus, it's a sustainable option whose recipes include pre-portioned ingredients, meaning less prep for you and less wasted food. I like it because it can really help me be as efficient as possible with my job while also being able to balance my outside life as well. Here, I'm having a delicious spicy harissa chicken bowl, and man, was it good. So to get your order of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com and use code ICEBERG16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com. Use code ICEBERG16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes with 3 free gifts. Now, back to the show. At number 10, we have, the number 4 with 82 Cup wins. This has basically been a winning number since the start, as Rex White got a bunch of his wins in this car. And this continued into the 90s with the Morgan McClure number 4 car. And the biggest one of these that could be remembered would be ones with Sterling Marlin and Ernie Irvan, but definitely the Sterling Marlin Daytona 500 victories. They were just unbeatable in those races. But around half of those 82 wins comes from a current driver, Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick, since joining Stewart-Haas Racing in 2014, has become one of the best drivers in NASCAR history, winning multiple races almost every single year he's been in this car. The most famous of these coming from the Homestead Miami Speedway in 2014, where Harvick won and clinched his first and so far only NASCAR Cup Series championship. To this day, Harvick still races and wins in this car, so there's a very good possibility that it goes up on the list in years to come. In 9th is the number 6 with 83 victories. While many have had a few wins in the 6, 2 have done the bulk of the winning for this number, those 2 being David Pearson and Mark Martin. Pearson had a large amount of his wins in his 15-win 1966 campaign. And he had a couple other wins scattered throughout as well on his way to 105 career wins. But Mark Martin was the one who defined his career in this number. Martin had 88% of his wins in the Roush 6 car, and this went from the 90s through to the mid-2000s. In his best season ever in 1998, Martin actually won 7 times, including leading 379 of the 400 laps en route to a Dover victory. In 8th is the number 22 with 85 wins. Now the number 22 is one of the winningest numbers in NASCAR history and has been since the start. Starting off, Fireball Roberts won 30 of his 33 career victories in car number 22. That is the most out of any driver. Now Bobby Allison also won 17 times in this number, and Ward Burton went trophy hunting in the early 2000s, winning the 2001 Southern 500 and 2002 Daytona 500 in this. But you see, nobody has more accolades and has defined the number 22 like Joey Logano. Logano currently has 27 wins as of recording this video, but those wins consist of many accomplishments like a Daytona 500 victory, 2 wins in the Bristol Night Race, and a championship-winning performance in Miami in 2018. The thing about Logano is that he's just hitting the prime of his career, so it's very likely that the number 22 gets up higher in the top 10 and maybe even the top 5 of winningest numbers by the time his career is out. In 7th is the number 48 with 91 wins, and I'm going to say now this is the newest number to surge onto this list. You see, before 2002, the number 48 only had 3 wins in the 54-year history of NASCAR. And since the retirement of Jimmie Johnson in 2020, well, Alex Bowman has had 5 wins in this car. Johnson did the heavy lifting with 83 of the 91 wins, and his accolades are off the modern charts. 2 Daytona 500s, 4 Brickyards, 4 600s, 2 Southern 500s, 15 straight playoff appearances, and 7 championships, with 5 consecutive being from 2006 to 2010. Jimmie Johnson's crowning achievement in this car is hard to really gauge, but if you're having one race where the 48 shined most, you'd probably have to say it was the 2016 Homestead race where he won his final championship. In 6th is the number 21 with 92 wins. One of the only numbers on this list that has been owned by the same team since the start of NASCAR, the Wood Brothers. And the Wood Brothers have seen everything. They've been through NASCAR domination as well as the underdog stages of a NASCAR team. No greater underdog win would come for them than in the 2011 Daytona 500, where 20-year-old Trevor Bayne came out of nowhere to win the Great American Race in one of the greatest storylines in NASCAR history. And no greater domination was seen in this car than with David Pearson, the Silver Fox, who won 43 times in the red and white 21, battling the King, Richard Petty. Entering the top 5, we have the number 24 car, which has been victorious 97 times in NASCAR Cup Series history. And this was done by 2 drivers winning in this number. The current driver, William Byron, has 4 career wins in the 24, including 2 in 2022, and with how young he is, this might increase a ton in the coming years, meaning that Jeff Gordon has the other 93 wins, which include 3 500s, 5 Brickyards, 6 Southern 500s, 3 Coke 600s, and 4 Winston Cup titles. Again, it's hard to really gauge with him as well what the crowning achievement in this number would be when it comes to winning a race, but you have to think that with the 24, you got to look at 1998 winning 13 times. The 24 has been put on the map by Jeff Gordon. In 4th, we have the number 2 car, which has scored 101 victories. While drivers like Dale Earnhardt and Tim Richmond won in this number, the bulk of this winning has been done with the team owned by the captain. Kurt Busch had 8 wins in the Blue Deuce from 2006 to 2010, and while there were a lot of ups and downs in this time, he was probably one of the top 5 to 7 best drivers every year. Now, Brad Keselowski won 34 times in this, and he also won the captain's first Cup title in 2012 with this number. Keselowski became a perennial championship contender with the 2 car. But the top dog of the 2 is Rusty Wallace, with 37 career victories, and Wallace was one of the drivers who defined the 90s with this number. Most recently, the 2 cars went to victory lane in the 2022 Daytona 500 with rookie Austin Cindric. At number 3 is the number 3, with 101 victories as well. The 3 had 30 wins in the 36-year span before 1984, and the best of those was Junior Johnson with 9. But the bulk of the dubs come from Dale Earnhardt with 67 wins in this car number. Earnhardt's 67 wins accounted for a ton of domination in the late 80s through to about the mid-90s, with a win in the 1998 Daytona 500, the 1995 Brickyard 400, winning 3 Coke 600s, 2 Southern 500s, and 6 Winston Cup titles. Earnhardt's 3 is probably the most recognizable number in NASCAR history because of all this winning, and can be seen today on Austin Dillon's car, which has went to victory lane 4 times since coming back in 2014. In the runner-up spot, we have the number 43 car with 200 victories in NASCAR Cup Series competition. And this has been a number who has seen most of its wins with one driver in one era. King Richard Petty won 192 in the 43 car and set just about every record in the NASCAR history books with this car. Outside of Petty, the 43 only has 8 victories, and only 2 drivers, Jim Paschal and Bobby Hamilton, have more than just 1 win. The 43 in this millennium has only won twice, Aric Almirola in 2014 and Erik Jones this past year in the Southern 500. The 43 car has had a rich history, but in recent memory since 1984 has basically been an afterthought. Now, with all of these, before we get to number 1, let's look at some of our honorable mentions.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia is about to join his father, Dawsonville, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ford Chevrolet off the final corner. Matt Kenseth trying to win it for the second time. Here comes Junior to the outside. Side by side with Kenseth. He runs out of time. Matt Kenseth wins the Daytona 500.
After coming second in Knoxville, there is no second place here. Kyle Larson coming to the line with Truex chasing, will win his 3rd time in a row here in Michigan.
Be a big night in the championship for Ricky Rudd. Checkered flag is up. Rudd wins the Chevy Monte Carlo 400 at Richmond.
Less than a mile to go.
Oh, we got a wreck.
3rd generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt. Is he going to try to get to this bumper?
And out of turn 4, Kyle Busch will win it at Bristol, Tennessee.
At number 1 is the double one, the 11 car with 228 wins. This has been about the lone continuous winning number throughout all of NASCAR. When you look back at some of the leaders when it comes to wins with this number, Cale Yarborough leads the way with 55 wins. He has 3 consecutive championships to his name. You got Ned Jarrett, who has 49 wins in this car and 2 championships. Both won multiple titles in this number, like 43-time 11-car winner Darrell Waltrip, who also won 3 titles. There is a winning tradition with this car, and in the early days, it was led by Junior Johnson's team, as he continuously had great drivers. But in the modern era, it's Joe Gibbs Racing and Denny Hamlin who have carried the banner for the 11, as all of Denny's 48 wins have come in the FedEx number 11 car. And while he has no titles to his name at the moment, he has been up front as a contender week in and week out for the past decade and a half, and could easily surpass Ned Jarrett and Cale Yarborough with the all-time 11 wins list. Overall, this number is gonna probably stay the most winning number for a long, long time. And with that, that is your top 10. Are there any you're surprised by? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video. Share this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And to all my channel members, thank you so much for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.